Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show. I just interviewed Lee the Hornet a couple weeks back. Hornets culture today. This will come out Wednesday, the 11th of 2026, March 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm here with Hornets for the Chip. He DM'd me. I don't even remember what it was a couple days ago, and he asked, can he be on the podcast? And I'm open to anything, okay? Anybody can be on the podcast as long as it's Charlotte sports. So, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. How's your day?
Great. So, I just want to talk about the Hornets, of course. As of today, they're on a 2-game losing streak. This follows a 6-game winning streak of winning by 15-plus points or more. Whooped the Celtics on the road, okay? There's just been a lot of stuff that's happened in the past couple weeks. But, of course, off the 6-game winning streak by beating teams by 15-plus points or more, we go on a 2-game losing streak by losing. I wouldn't say got whooped, but last game we kind of did.
Yeah.
Heat game, it didn't seem like it, but if you kind of looked at it from a stats view, and if you really watched the game, we really weren't playing all that great. The Heat were just playing really daggone well. And so I was just going to kind of ask, a losing streak is following that 6-game winning streak. What do you think Charles Lee should do to fix it? Of course, he's got to do something about it, of course. Who do we play today? I forgot who it was.
The Blazers.
Yeah, Blazers tonight. 7. It's not 7, is it? It's like 10 p.m. or something like that. It's 1 or 2. But either way, what do you think Charles Lee should do to fix it? Of course, we want to beat the Blazers tonight at, I still don't know what time. I should have done my research beforehand. 9 or 10 probably.
All right, so what I think when I watch the Heat and the Suns game, I see like when it comes to the first 3 quarters, like it's come close. Then once it's the fourth quarter, like that's when they just start turning up, and they play more physical in the fourth quarter. Then like we lead them to open shots, and then when we on offense, like we just turn over the ball too much. So I feel like that's why we on a 2-game losing streak right now, and I think Charles Lee should like put defense in the fourth quarter, and that's what I think he should fix.
All right. I completely agree with that. I think, well, first of all, I would like to point out, last game was definitely not pretty. The Suns, wasn't it like 119 to 99 or something like that?
Yeah.
Definitely need to sharpen up on the defense, like you said. I'm trying to look back at the score right now. Yeah, 111 to 99. It's almost like we're still shooting good, but like you said, the defense, it's almost like they're playing good defense, we're not. And, in my opinion, I do like the thing about defense. Charles Lee definitely needs to amp up the defense a little bit, but at the same time, if you look at the Suns game, defense was not the worst. 111 points is a pretty average NBA score in general. I feel like last game it was kind of the offense. In general, of course, the Heat game, I would say, was definitely on the defense. Allowing 128 points against the Miami Heat is probably not the greatest thing to do, which Tyler Hero was absolutely phenomenal that game. So, you got to give him credit, of course. But, in general, I definitely agree with that. Now, my second question for you was, I asked Hornets culture this exact same question. At the beginning of the year, including myself, there was a lot of fire Charles Lee posts, okay? I made tons on YouTube. I actually didn't even have an Instagram account for the Buzz and Roar Show when I made them, but all on YouTube. I could probably go find them right now, and you would see there was so many Charles Lee posts across all the Hornets fan pages. I don't know about you, but Hornets culture had them. Lee the Hornet, I probably didn't have him. He's the most happy man in the world. He doesn't really care what happens. I'm kidding. But there were many Fire Charles Lee posts across just all the Hornets fan pages and everyone in general that I saw. And so now there's not. Of course, he has absolutely turned this team from the ground up, and I mean that literally. Okay, last year we had another really below average year in Charles Lee's first year, but then this year he has probably, with GM Jeff Peterson, probably the best draft in the league. I don't even know if you should say probably. It was the best draft in the league if you look at it. Definitely turned it from like just scale 0 to scale 115 in like just a couple months. And so my question is for you, if you could rank him right now as a coach, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rank him? Because, of course, I mean, once again, I was mentioning the Fires Charles Lee post. Back then, actually, Hornets culture said he would probably give him about a 3 or like a 4. But then right now, he said a 7. Okay, a 7. He would say about a 7 because, if I can remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he kind of made the point that, there's still stuff to fix. Okay, there's definitely still stuff to fix. But, like, at the beginning of the year, his problem was that, Charles Lee was doing bad in the late game situations. Like, we could be tied going into the fourth and then lose by 30 or something crazy like that because Charles Lee just ends up doing really bad in late game situations. That was his problem at the beginning of the year, but then now he's kind of fixed all that. It almost seems like Hornets fans, like, oh my gosh, like every time that he gets in a late game situation, we're almost confident now, and we're almost happy that we're going to get a late game situation because almost every single time we end up winning it now. So kind of, I mean, what's your thoughts on Charles Lee this season, and kind of give me like a ranking out of 1 through 10?
All right, so what I think, I'll probably give him probably an 8. And because like the turnaround was crazy, because like at the start, like turning the team to a 4-14 start on another pace for a 20-win season to like us being over 500, I mean, it's just incredible. And then like I remember during this 6-game winning streak, the Hornets, we was actually playing the best offense in the NBA. And then like we had a couple of times where we lead the NBA in winning streaks. So that's why I think it's an 8.5.
8.5, very specific. Now, about the 6-game winning streak, and really just in general how Charles Lee turned this team around, I think I asked kind of a similar question to Hornets culture, this one as well. But, the Hornets have shot a lot of threes and drained them. Okay, and that's kind of how they've been winning games. They've been the most three-point shooting team in the league. Of course, LaMelo Ball and Con Knippel and Brandon Miller are the top 3 three-point shooters in the league right now. Okay, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I don't think anybody thought, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Con Knippel are going to lead the league in threes. But that's the case. Okay, Con Knippel's absolutely draining everything he shoots. LaMelo Ball is LaMelo Ball. Okay, he's definitely amped it up like 5 notches. Okay, and of course Brandon Miller follows behind both of them, I think, in 3rd place. But he's still on fire every single night. And so, do you think them shooting so many threes was kind of like a thing that Charles Lee kind of like got from his tenure on the Celtics? Because of course the Celtics play a more modern style of basketball, almost like the Hornets. Okay, they love to shoot a bunch of threes and then like kind of back off on defense a little, it almost seems like. And I'm not saying they don't play defense, I'm just saying they almost seem to back off a little bit on defense, but then absolutely go like full force on offense, shooting threes after threes after threes. And so, do you personally think that, Charles Lee coming from the tenure with Joe Mazzulla at head coach, leading the Celtics, shooting that many threes, do you think he kind of just went, okay, it worked on the Celtics, it won Joe a finals ring, if it can work on the Boston Celtics, then why can't it work in Charlotte with LaMelo Ball, Con Knippel, Brandon Miller? You can throw former Celtic Grant Williams in there. That's what Hornets culture did. He mentioned the fact that Grant Williams might have actually had an influence on it as well, because Grant Williams was on the Celtics when they went on that title run in 2022. And so, in general, just what do you think about the threes? Do you think they're purposely trying to kind of shoot a more modern style of basketball, or do you think it was kind of like player influenced in a way?
No, I'll probably definitely say it's like a more modern style of basketball because, like, like you said, his tenure from the Celtics and the Celtics shoots like a whole lot of threes. But I feel like earlier of the year, like when we were shooting a whole lot of threes, they wasn't really, we wasn't really making them. But then, like, now, I feel like on the road, like, that's when we make a whole lot of threes, especially Khan, Khan probably average about like 6 threes on the road. So, and when it comes to the other players, they shoot good on the road too. So I feel like we be doing better on the road than at home.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, in fact, Hornets culture, when I interviewed him last week, I think we were on like a 10-11 game road streak. And still, we're definitely on fire on the road, of course. But I do want to go to that Suns game for a moment. We lost 111 to 99. I was just talking about it a minute ago. I feel like we did play good defense, but what happened with our offense? I asked a couple other Hornets analysts. Of course, I talked to just about everybody, okay? I mean, that's why I want to be a sports analyst when I'm older. I mean, I hope that I'm going to be on ESPN in a couple years, of course, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's definitely gone well for me so far. But, I've talked to a bunch of Hornets sources and Hornets people. It was on Peacock. So I do not have Peacock. I could not watch it. So that's kind of why I talked to a bunch of different analysts and stuff like that. And they almost said it felt like we kind of, quote, looked like our old selves. Okay, that's what they actually said it looked like. They said it looked like their old selves. Like we couldn't bury easy shots down, couldn't grab rebounds, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, couldn't play defense, relied on our core three to play well to stay in it, and bringing back the Hornets culture thing again. He's getting a lot of shout-outs today in this interview. Hornets culture, he said last week, we were talking about the fact that, and this is kind of diverting my question here for just a second, but LaMelo Ball, we kind of talked about how he kind of seemed to get injured a while. He kind of seemed to get injured a lot 1 to 3 years ago because he was basically not literally but kind of the only player on the team, and he was kind of like the only one doing something. Okay, of course you have Brandon Miller and you have Miles Bridges, but is just those three players going to give you all that you need to win an NBA game? No. And so we were talking about kind of how LaMelo has gotten injured, and I think that kind of relates to this. I feel like that's kind of what happened this game. The whole team was relying on LaMelo. The whole team was relying on, this time, Con Knipple. The whole team was relying on Miles Bridges. How we've won game on the past, though, was we put in Cockbrenner to go grab some rebounds. We put in Grant Williams to go shoot some threes or get in the paint and do this, do that. We put in Kobe White to absolutely dominate the Euro step spin moves behind the back, stuff like that. Okay, and so I mean, is this something that how do you think we could fix this style of play that we did against the Suns tonight? Okay, how do you think we could fix it tonight? And is this something that Charles Lee needs to fix, or is this something that LaMelo and Con and Brandon and the entire starting five has to step up and be like, okay, bench, you absolutely sucked last game. You need to come in and do better this game. Like of course they're not going to say exactly that, but do you think this is something that they need to come in and step up? Or do you think it's kind of a mix of both, kind of like Charles has to get into it in practice, but also it's going to involve the leaders of the Hornets to also say, the time is now. We cannot slack against the Trailblazers. We have to get back on track. As we are below 500 once again. We had literally 2 games above 500.
All right, so I think the fix is I feel like we should fix the team needs more consistent rims pressure to complement their 3-point shooting developing better, more constant inside scoring to complement their 3-point valence will stop them from going cold. Then I think when it comes to the leaders, Lamelo need to make at least draw up something for himself. It just it's kind of hard to get it out, but Lee, Charles Lee needs to continue installing a culture of the defense accountability. While the Hornets showed improvement defensively, the Suns game highlighted that the swarming defense can still break down under pressure. He needs to find a better balance between shooting threes and attacking the rim to prevent offensive strategies.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to go back to the below .500 thing. You were done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go back to the below .500 thing. We are below .500 again, but we're still 10th seed in the East, okay? And we're still definitely improving. And so I want to point this out. Of course, I love the encouragement. I love the enthusiasm from everybody in my comment section, in Lee's comment section, everybody's comment sections. And I like being biased sometimes, but if me and you are being completely honest here, like right now, right here, we're not winning the finals, are we?
Yeah, nah.
No, we're not going to go on, and I ain't gonna say 0% because I guess anything can happen. But if we go on a title run, that will be like a generational thing. Okay, that like
Yep.
I mean that'll be something that's never probably done again. But I mean, if we're being completely honest here, they're probably not winning the finals. But how many years do you think it would take before we do have a shot to possibly go on a title run? Okay, of course. Gosh, I keep bringing up that Hornets culture interview. It was honestly a great interview. That's probably why. He kind of mentioned, could we go on a Pacers title run? Okay, of course, the Pacers, no one expected them to get to the finals except for residents of Indiana themselves. But they did.
Yep.
Okay, they got all the way. They competed in the finals, made it a 7-game series, and it was a great series overall. And so do you think, we could go on just a crazy Pacers title run next year, maybe skip the play-in, get 6th or 5th seed, just go all the way? And how many years, if not next year, do you think, it will take before we even have a shot? Okay. I mean, if I had to answer this question, I would say probably around 2 or 3, because I think next year we could go on a Pacers title run. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to completely write it off the picture, but I feel like we're still a little young, and I feel like even though we're going to get a little bit of playoff experience this year, next season we'll still have little to no playoff experience for the whole team.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball, can he shine when the brights are light? Can Con Knipple do the same? Can Brandon Miller do the same? Can everybody on this team do the same thing that I'm saying? Can they shine when the stage is set, when the brights are light in the playoffs? Okay, that's kind of the question. If we do get a little bit of play-in experience or even playoff experience this season, then maybe a Pacers titles run is possible, but we would still have probably little to no experience in the playoffs. And so I'd say about 2 to 3 years, because I feel like in general, if we keep our current pace, we would have a pretty good season next year, maybe 45, 50-ish wins. And then the year after, I mean, I would expect probably the same amount of wins, but still a lot more playoff experience, a lot more development and growth, possibly a lot more draft picks that, I mean, who knows who we could get this upcoming draft. There's a lot of talent this year. My only worry about this year's draft, diverting the topic again, is that AJ Diabanza, the guy who you love so much, you DM me that, is that he is possibly not coming to the draft this year. Caleb Wilson, he actually just said something about the other day, and I'm a UNC fan, so I'm very happy about this, but he commented actually on a video showing his highlight reel of the year after he got injured, and he said, "Run it back?" ? With a smiley face. And so, I mean, in general, I mean, it's just kind of like a question like who will we draft, but also, well, that's not the question, but who will we draft? And my question for you is just, how many years would you think before we go on a title run? Of course, once again, I mentioned we could get some development next year, but will that be enough to go on a title run and really shock the NBA?
So I would say how long it was for us to go on the Pacers run. I would probably say 3 years because as you said, this team is really young. So we still have a whole lot more years to develop. So a championship, it requires a big three. So our big three is basically LaMelo, Brandon, and Con, who is already shooting incredibly good. Broke the rookie leaders in threes. So I think we could probably draft I don't know what draft pick we might get. If we lose the plan, we're gonna definitely get a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah,
But
probably
I'll probably
lottery pick.
say yeah, but I actually don't know because there's a whole lot of good players anyway in this draft. So yep. So that's what I think. It's gonna take 3 years. This team gonna develop, and then we're gonna go on the Pacers run. Maybe in 3 years we
Pacers
could be
title run.
maybe be top five in wins in 3 years.
I don't know about that. That seems like a stretch, but also it doesn't, because it is 3 years from now, and we're definitely doing good right now. However,
I'll probably say that because we still have a whole lot of time to develop. We have a really
Yeah.
young team, so
Oh yeah, really. It's the youngest in the NBA if I'm correct, and we're doing
yep.
all this with the youngest team in the NBA. Like, I mean, I'm just putting it out there. The Panthers, they're insane. Okay, the Hornets, I mean,
Yeah.
they are possibly insane. I still listen. I love the Hornets, but I still, for some reason, can't comprehend that we're doing this, and I almost feel like something could happen next year that's gonna just tank our season again. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that like LaMelo's gonna get hurt or something, and like nobody's gonna be able to step up. Then we get another like 22 win season or something. I hope that doesn't
Nah,
happen. I'm just saying I really like. I have a feeling in my bones that like something terrible is going to happen next year. But either way, that's 20 minutes into the interview. I think that's just going to do it. I've got more content to film, so might as well just end it here. I forgot to mention this. Hit that sub button. Trying to reach 1K subs on my channel, Buzz and Roar Show Instagram. Check it out. YouTube. Check it out. Check out all the socials linked in the description below. Also linked in the description below is Hornets for the Chip stuff. His Instagram is down below. I don't think he does anything on YouTube. If he does, he'll send it to me. If he does on Twitter, I don't know. He'll send it to me. But either way, all his stuff will be down below. Go hit follow on Hornets for the Chip stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys for Buzz and Roar episode 28, I think. That means 28 Mondays of my life has been dedicated to recording an episode and posting it on YouTube. That is wild. Either way, though, thank you for coming on. Hopefully I'll get you on at some point in the future. Thank you so much. Go Hornets. Let's beat the Trailblazers tonight, and I'll see you. Well, I don't know when I'll see you. We'll have to schedule something again. Go Hornets. Let's beat the Trailblazers tonight. Once again, hit that sub button, hit that like button. It really means a lot. See you all next time. Peace.
All right. Peace.